Josh Simmons is a standout player who is one of the most intriguing offensive tackle prospects in this draft class. Standing at 6'5", 317 pounds with a remarkable 82-inch wingspan. This is a player who is arguably the best offensive lineman coming out of this draft. Starting his journey at San Diego State, but ended up transferring to Ohio State, where he really made his mark. Unfortunately, his season was cut short in 2024 with a knee injury. So if a team is going to draft him early, they will have to do their homework on him as far as the medicals are concerned. This is a player that has demonstrated elite level footwork, outstanding spatial awareness, and the kind of athletic ability that NFL scouts covet in offensive tackles in today's game. His ability to excel in both pass protection and run blocking, coupled with his experience at both left tackle and the right tackle position, makes him a valuable prospect for teams looking to strengthen their offensive line, who absolutely has all-pro potential. So on this play here, Josh Simmons shows why he's one of the most cleanest prospects I've seen on film. His physicality in the trenches is a thing of beauty. He doesn't just latch onto defenders and dominate them, he plays through the whistle, giving running backs clear lanes to exploit. This kind of complete physical play is routine for a player like him. So activating the system. So locking in on Simmons, just watching him attack that defensive lineman right off the snap. The thing is, when you're playing that left tackle position, you got to have the power and that quick athleticism to catch these guys off guard. And Quinshon Judkins is running the ball, but looking at Simmons completely driving his legs, the defensive lineman, he does dip down in a weird way, but with this player's kind of power, you cannot do that. Completely bench pressing this player, shocking him, and removing him out this play. And the thing is, when you do have a left tackle that can be able to bring that physicality when it comes down to the offensive line, it is everything when it comes down to the floor of the offense. And there are some other left tackles and right tackles that's coming out of this draft class that plays physical, but with this kind of player here, while he was healthy, he did this on a consistent basis. And if you're going to be a team that's going to pick up a left tackle early in this draft, they have to have a knack for being able to do everything. So seeing him jumping off the ball, getting his hands on a defensive lineman, bench pressing him, and imposing his will was great to see by Simmons. Here's a rep where Simmons shows excellent teamwork, building a solid wall alongside the tight end and the guard to create a clear running lane that allows the running back to hit the hole decisively for positive yardage. And this good work on this play comes from Simmons' solid technique and smooth teamwork in the blocking scheme. And it only takes a half a second for athletic talent like Travion Henderson to hit it and get busy. So we'll go ahead and spin a block. So locking on this play here, just watching Simmons firing off the ball, just getting into good position. You love to be able to see things like that and building this wall. Being the middle guy in the trenches, holding his own and allowing Henderson to navigate through the trenches, bounce to the outside and gain about 20 yards on this play. These are the things that you love to see when it comes down to that offensive line, not only being a physical player, but you got to work with your teammates. And usually with his strength, once he can be able to get his hands on you, he does have the ability to be able to knock you back. And sometimes with these defenders, they do not have the ability to be able to recover. But when you do see the athleticism and walls being built like this, offensive line coaches, they love to see that. And to be a player that's extremely powerful on top of being athletic is rare. And that's what you get when it comes down to a player in Simmons. To be one of the best left tackles in the league, you need both physical strength and excellent footwork for pass protection. He is a stout player, so when he does engage in contact, he has the ability to knock defenders off balance while extending his arms to ride them outside the pocket. From my film evaluation football family, he executes this technique effortlessly. So let's run it. So zooming in on his left foot, we'd love to be able to break this kind of stuff down with this top-notch technology that we be running here in the JC network. Just watching him just firing off the ball. The thing is, when you have great footwork, being that dancing bear, it makes things so harder when it comes down to these defenders. And seeing him extending that left arm, he does this a lot of times when it comes down to these rushers. Sometimes you can be able to extend that one strong arm, dropping that anchor, and finding ways to be able to control them. When you are playing that left tackle position in the league, there will be times when you're going to be going up against premier pass rushers, the Micah Parsons of the world, Myles Garrett. You got to have good footwork as well as hand placement. And as far as having those 82-inch arms, it's great to see it because you can be able to keep that leverage. And that's one of the main things that a lot of these NFL scouts look for. And as far as a player like Will Campbell, he's another one of those talents that I really like as far as that offensive line with the ability to play the tackle position. You can play guard. Some people do have questions about his short arms, but with a player like Josh Simmons, that is not the case at all. The only question about this player is, did he properly heal from his injury from last year? And if he did, I believe that he will make a statement day one. When playing against Simmons, you have to be careful when slashing inside. If you lean your weight to attack the opposite gap, he uses it against you with his power and can completely wash you out the play. And this type of energy here is food when it comes down to running backs, making it easier for them to score quick touchdowns. So we'll go ahead and split it. So looking at this play here, just watching that defensive tackle, he's slashing inside. Number 67 did help on this block, but Simmons helped him out and completely cleaned it up. And the thing is, with a guy like Henderson, if you're giving him holes like this with that kind of space, he has the slashing ability and athleticism to get those dirty yards. And there will be times when you're going up against defenses in the NFL, it's going to be a lot of stunting, a lot of slashing within the interior, but you got to be careful because this player's quickness and power, he could quickly make you a non-factor. So great play by Simmons, the guard, as well as Henderson on his rep. Not only that play, but looking at this play here is the same thing with these defensive linemen slashing inside and Simmons having the ability to quickly latch on and remove them out the play. And it's awesome to be able to see it because sometimes all it takes is for that one player to get completely washed out and the running back using his eyes and seeing it and making it a positive play. But if you're going to be one of the teams with a high-powered offense, it all starts up front. And he's one of those special athletes that sets the tone early, and that kind of energy rubs off on everybody on the offensive line. So having that kind of impact here and being a bully in the trenches is big time. Another thing I like to see from Josh Simmons is his ability to be patient and work with the offensive lineman to dissect these stunt plays. The main thing is getting in good position, using your eyes, and finding the defender that you need to neutralize. And he did just that on his rep. So let's run it. So locking on this play here, just watching Simmons, using a great kick slide when it comes down to that left foot, but watching the patience from this player. He didn't engage with the looper, so that's always good. But getting his hands on a defensive tackle and keeping him away from the quarterback. It was an incomplete pass on this play, but I wanted to show y'all this because of the patience and being on the same page as far as everybody else on that left side of the offensive line. But another solid rep by Simmons here. One issue that I do see from a lot of NFL tackles is their tendency to lunge forward aggressively towards defenders, which can mess up their balance and positioning. A lot of these tackles will overextend themselves, leaving them vulnerable to counter moves and unable to effectively anchor against powerful defensive ends. But with Simmons, he shows discipline and technique when doing the lunging. And it's good to see him attack, keeping his weight centered and driving those legs to remove the defender out the play, opening a nice lane for Quinshon Judkins to slice through. So let's run it. So looking at this play here, just watching Simmons, he's firing off the ball, lunging and getting into good position. When you can be able to get into good position like this, chopping those feet, it makes things so much easier for a guy like Quinshon Judkins. And we all know the talent that Ohio State has in the backfield. So when you do have a dominant offensive lineman like him, it's just going to make these guys even better. But it's unfortunate that he did end up getting hurt this season, but Ohio State still won a national championship anyway. But Josh Simmons was absolutely the best player on this offensive line before he went down. And as far as lunging, with a player like Tyler Guyton, that is some of the issues I had with him. And this dates back since his college days. And you still see those mistakes in the NFL. But as far as Josh Simmons, lunging and attacking these defenders, he does that very well. So on this final play here, you will see the excellent movement from Simmons as he engages with the defender and drives him nearly off the screen. This kind of dominance is why I consider him one of the best prospects, because the film never lies. So let's run it. So looking at this play here, just watching the movement, just see him just shading to the right side. He's locking in on number 55, clamps down, and starts driving those legs. And these are the plays here that I absolutely love while watching film. Because as far as coaching, they always tell you, once you latch on to a guy, continue to play to the whistle, even if the runner is nowhere near your side. So hopefully all of the scouts and coaches can be able to lock onto this, because this player has a ton of potential. He will be going up against some big-time rushers once he gets to the NFL, but when you have that athleticism as well as his power, he has all the tools to be a solid left tackle at the next level. So it's going to be good to see how it all plays out as far as Josh Simmons. When you're an athlete that has the power, you have great footwork, you can get down to the second level, you have a great understanding of what everybody on the offensive line is doing as far as stunts. The list goes on and on when it comes down to this player's talents. So comment below and let me know what you guys think about Josh Simmons and who else do y'all want me to break down just like this video. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire updates and the best football film sessions on YouTube. All right, football family, talk to y'all soon. Gone.